Happy Friday! I had that post that was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about racism in the workplace. And I got a lot of various answers, a lot of them pretty heated, and I appreciate your engagement because I really wanted to talk to it, and I didn't know how to bring it up, and I kind of wanted your input before I did, just so I can gather, where do I go with this? But it's something that's real, and obviously it happened. Something happened at work which caused me to bring it up. And so just kind of to make a long story short without having to go too much into negative thoughts before this wonderful Friday, but basically we had a customer, and for those of you who know where I work in a very older part of Edmonton. So a lot of people who've been in this area have been here for like decades, and so you can just imagine what kind of demographic I have, or demographic that I work in. And so she came up to one of my customer service representatives and asked if there was anybody else who wasn't Filipino. So I'm the only Filipino that works at this branch, but everybody, well, there's like a few people that are Asian, of Asian descent, and then we have a few people who are not. And so but front line, a lot of the people on the floor and in the front are of Asian descent. So not that it matters, but anyway, she asked specifically, is there anybody here that isn't Filipino? And my CSR had said, yeah, like, what is it that we can help you with, and she blatantly said that she will not work with anybody who was Filipino or non-white. And my CSR was brave enough to say something in his own words. I don't even know what he said, but he told me that he said that it was racism and it's not nice. And she said that, well, she has money at the bank, she can deal with whoever she wants or whoever she chooses to. And I guess she has a reputation of being very short and not nice to deal with at the branch. So like, I don't know who this person is. Of course I wanted to know what she looked like, and so that I would be, but that, the unfortunate thing is that wasn't the first time I encountered racism at work. Like really 4 or 5 weeks ago, I had someone tell me to my face, it's all those Filipinos and all those people from out east that are doing all this fraud. Like, to my face. And I couldn't believe it, because I'm like, are you seriously talking to me? Because she came to the branch manager because of a problem and had to do with some fraud on her account, which, is fine. Like, that happens to a lot of people. But she said that to my face, and I was just speechless. I didn't even know what to say. But that's all I could say was, excuse me? And then she backed up a little. And then she said, oh, are you Filipino? And I'm like, my parents are from the Philippines, and yeah, I was born and raised here. And she said, okay, well, maybe not you. You're nice. But, all those other Asians. So the whole question about racism in the workplace is not necessarily to stop people from being racist, because you know what? People are going to be who they are. Okay, and we can't necessarily judge them because they're who they are from their background, from what they were taught. And you know what? We're all people. There are habits that I have that I'm sure people wouldn't like. Not racism, but like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's a habit, but everything that we believe now was formed from our background, right? And there are many things that you probably wouldn't agree with, just like me, right? But I needed to get out there that it exists, and I guess how we choose to deal with it is ultimately up to us. We can't control who we deal with. Like, I mean, I guess that woman could control who she deals with, but what, is she going to go to all the banks and find, like, the whitest white person she wants to deal with? Like, I mean, our culture is so diverse now, and it's getting even more diverse, that she'll probably have a hard time, right? And so the question is how are you going to deal with it? How are you going to deal with being discriminated against, or, you know, offensive remarks like that? And you know what? I had a little meeting with my staff members just last night, and we talked about it, because you know what matters to me? It doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't. I can't control what I can't control, right? So it doesn't necessarily matter that there are bad people out there. Not bad people, but judgmental, discriminating, racist people out there. What matters is how my team feels. It mattered to me how they were going to react, or how they're going to feel about racist comments like that. It mattered to me because in the end, you know, it's in the workplace, right? And I'm not going to blame, you know, big corporations or anything like that, because of course our culture is so diverse that I don't think there's any question that we stand against racism or discrimination. However, the question was, can we turn away clients if they, you know, if they discriminate or offend us? And I mean, I guess ultimately we can. I think the question was, will my company back me? That was the question. Will my company back me if I said, I'm not dealing with you because you're racist? And this person, whether she had money in the bank or millions in the bank, will my customer back me? Or sorry, company. Will my company back me? Will my manager back me? And what mattered to me was that my staff knew that I would back them 100%. My team would know that it doesn't matter if they felt discriminated against, offended, you know, I would back them 100% in whatever they did. Now, they can't be, you know, like abusive and like even more offensive, right? But, you know, they could defend themselves and they could choose not to help a client out. But I wanted my team to know that no matter what happened, whether I was Filipino or, you know, from a different country, or, you know, born and raised here as, you know, someone Caucasian, it didn't matter. If they felt somehow discriminated against, I would 100% back them. And I think my company would as well. But there's always that chance, right? Like, how far do I go before they say it was too much, right? And I guess it depends. You know what? I'm not even going to go there. Anyways, so that was the whole reason. Not to necessarily say out there, you know, there's one line. Because you know what? There's so many lines that people might cross and or not cross, right? And so we look at all these different lines. How do we determine what line is right? And I don't think there's any line that's right at all, you know, not when it comes to being, you know, discriminated against. So that is why I brought this up. It's not the most positive message for a Friday, but I hope that you leave here feeling like, you know what, the world's not perfect and neither are we, but it's how we react to this imperfection that really determines how we want to live our life. And don't be the person that necessarily reacts, be the person that responds. And maybe be that leader who will help inspire others to act in the right way. And that's all I have to say. Anyways, have a great Friday. And we will talk to you guys later. It's going to be a beautiful weekend, apparently. And as always, I got you all. Talk to you later.